All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. My name is Nakia from Sun Radio. Here doing another Sun Radio session. We are doing these on the stage live right now. This is not a recording. This is really happening. So if you want to come over and be seated here in the audience, you're welcome to. If you want to take a little shopping break, you can grab something to sip on over here, something to eat and hang out, recharge a bit, and then get back to the shopping. We've been doing these Sun Radio sessions all week long, and we've had a chance to talk to a lot of the artists who are out here creating and selling this incredibly beautiful art that you're here to buy. But we've also been talking to folks behind the scenes, and we've also been talking to the musicians who play here on the Armadillo stage, which is where we are now. I believe today at 1 o'clock. Who's kicking off today?
Us.
You are. That's right. I thought for some reason, yesterday we had somebody, they were playing later, a day before yesterday. Okay, good. So that means you don't have to come back again. You're here. You can
I'm here to stay.
Yeah, that's right. You could. That's the easiest part when you're a musician and you do something like this. You want to be first.
Yeah, no, it really worked with our schedules.
Good. And I hope that as you've heard today probably, that your experience with booking the gig has been seamless and easy to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really cool. Obviously, the Bazaar has been a goal of ours. You know, it's like a lot of iconic Austin musicians have graced the stage and the community here, so it feels really cool to kind of check this off of our bucket list as a band.
That's really nice to hear, because as you folks might not know this, but today will be the debut of the Tiarras here at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. So even more fitting that they kick off today's music. They'll be doing 2 sets, as everybody does here. It's been a great week of music, and one of the things that I love about Armadillo Christmas Bazaar lineups is they are always packed with incredible women. And I just think that knowing you as long as I've known you, because I met you when y'all were just starting out. I think you were at the time were then called the Tiara Girls.
Yes.
Yeah. And we met at Threadgill's World Headquarters, right down the street. The building is still there. And the spirit is everywhere. But y'all, I feel like we're probably 12 or 13 years old, maybe?
Very young.
Yeah.
We started the band when we were preteens, and when we started playing shows like at Threadgill's, we were very much still like not entering our full teenage years yet. So.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible and because that was easily, 10, 12 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And you're still going strong. Not only that, you just released a couple singles over the last month. You did one, and then I think maybe last year you had another single out, both of which were really, really good covers. Y'all know how much I love cover songs. Like right now on Sun Radio, I've been playing Eddie Vedder's version of Room at the Top by Tom Petty. We've been playing that a lot. I really love this cover that y'all have done. It's so beautiful. It's a classic soul song. It's Every Kind of People, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you gave it your own spin. I love it when an artist really gives it their own spin, and y'all really gave it this kind of like 80s vibe. It's so good.
Yeah, we're trying to release something before ACL as we were working on our first debut album, but we weren't quite yet ready to release original music yet, because we wanted to release it in a full cohesive project. So we were like, let's just have some fun and release something that's like very new and eclectic, which people already expect from us. We've kind of already set that tone that like you never really know what you're gonna get. You're just gonna be like very mind like your mind is gonna be open when you listen to our music.
I
But
can't wait.
yeah, with Every Kind of People, our producer Michael Ramos, he loves that song, and he kept showing it to me, and I was like, this is really interesting. Like, I never really listened to this kind of music. Like, obviously my parents always played 80s music. My mother was obsessed with 80s music, and
Same.
they had told me about a Robert Palmer show that they went to, and so there were a lot of connections with that. And I just was like, I want it to be very us. Like, I want to change a little bit of the lyrics to make it more
I noticed that
feminine
too.
leaning,
Yeah.
and
Good job.
also very like inclusive too. So we changed like the solo. Sorry, hit the mic. We changed the solo, made it very like kind of like a reggaeton beat in the
Yes.
chorus. So it is very different, and it works. It works.
I say it definitely works. And I'm wondering, as you're talking about this debut album that you're working on with your sisters, Sophia and Tiffany, who are both here, by the way. But today we are sacrificing just
There's
one
room
tiara
for one.
up here.
We don't all fit. We could fit.
But all three of you will be playing today at 1:00. Will you be playing some of the new songs from the album?
A couple of them. Right now we have, I think, about 2 that's in the set right now.
Nice.
So, but again, we are being very mysterious about this new debut album. We're really like buttering up the production and like really trying to figure out how it's gonna feel like within ourselves. That's kind of our process. We write, and then we go to the studio and really sit with the song, and then we try it out live, and then we go back into the studio and kind of change things.
I love that.
And then it's out in the world.
I love that. And you play a lot. Y'all have got a few shows that I saw over the last year. You did play ACL this year, I think, right?
Yes.
And you're playing Free Week. You're going to be over at
Flamingo Cantina.
Flamingo Cantina.
Yes, we love that venue. That's kind of where we like. That's kind of like our playground.
Oh, I love that.
It's a venue that,
as it should be. Flamingo Cantina should be a playground.
it really is, because I mean we knew it as a reggae kind of hip hop bar.
Sure.
And we started getting booked there with Angela, the owner, and she just kind of like was like, you guys can play here whenever you want.
Aww.
Like, you can create your fan base here. And we had posted a bunch of TikToks around that time, and they had done really well. Like, we got hundreds of thousands of likes and
Wow.
stuff. And it was one of the weekends that we were playing at Flamingo Cantina, and so we told everyone to go there, and we like packed it. We packed it out. So we play there all the time whenever we can, just to like try new things and just have fun, and you know, it's a good time. I love that venue.
Oh, man. That's making me so excited for this show today at 1:00. So we talked about some of the women in music, and I want to bring it back to the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar for a moment. I wanted to ask, so you mentioned that this was kind of a goal gig for y'all. So I take it then that you attended the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar before you'd come to it just as visitors.
Yeah, I think when we were pretty young, I don't necessarily remember a lot. I just know like seeing like really cool guitarists and like the kids and everything. And I love that my parents took us to shows because, you know, as young people in music, it was very hard to get into venues and bars. And even when we would play, sometimes we got kind of pushed out the door.
Sure.
Like, once you play, you go, because
Yeah.
we can't have you hanging out around here.
Right.
But events like the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar, like, they took us, and we were able to really deep dive into the Austin live music scene and learn
Yeah.
about it. And so it's amazing. I love events like this because you can combine art and vendors and like little small bites. Like, there's literally everything for everyone. You can't be bored. And there's
Right.
live music.
And there's live music.
It's like a moth to a flame. Yeah.
Totally, totally. And I think that is what I'm so excited about your music, because it's like I keep, my brain is trying to leave the stage and go into the studio with you and Michael Ramos, like a moth to a flame, because it is, Michael is one of my favorite humans on the planet, number one. He is one of the best and I think most underrated producers in Austin.
Yeah.
And he is incredibly talented, has played with everybody. I bet if Michael Ramos has played with more people at the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. I bet he's at least two hands worth of artists.
He is full of stories like galore.
Yeah, he's done it all.
Any session turns into like a lecture, a story time. Like sometimes we talk more than we work.
Sure.
And that, like, you can kind of hear that in the music because he teaches me about drum machines, about melodies, and I teach him about like different ways of writing. Like I'll bring him a song that I'm working on and he'll be like, "Oh, like I've never heard something like this. This is very different." Because with our music, like it is very kind of mismatchy and like the lyrics are kind of sad sometimes, but it works with the uppity beat, or we have like a random like tempo change. In Soy Chingona, which is a song that we worked on with him, he was very like whoa, like I've never heard something like this. It might like mess with the way people dance, and you'll hear it today too, but we have like a tempo change in the chorus that I wasn't aware of because I'm not very musically, like technically trained, but
sure,
he is.
Same.
So we're both kind of coming from different worlds and meeting each other in the middle. And you can really hear that on our upcoming project. So
I can't wait to hear it. And when we're done, I'll sing you. Michael and I worked on a song together for a compilation, and he was in his first band that he was in was with John D. Graham, and they were like a synth like pop rock band, and I forget the name of it, but we took one of John D. Graham's very gruff John D. Graham song, and we turned it into an 80s pop song. And when I say we, I sang on it. Michael did everything else. The drum machine, the keyboard, the bass, the production, the mixing.
I love watching him work because like sometimes he gets mad and it's really funny. Like in Pro Tools, I'm like telling too much about him, but like
no, it's so funny though because he's so that
he'll
is so
be like
true.
Cursing up a storm, but like he has like a mad scientist, and I'm just there like watching and putting in my 2 cents, and like he works so amazing. Like he is truly like one of my heroes in music. Like we had been around him for a very long time at the Austin Music Awards, but he was very intimidating, so we didn't necessarily approach him.
Yeah.
But we had played a show at Joe's Coffee for a South by pop-up show that was kind of like an all-women lineup, and every artist would play a song that was historically like misogynist like vibes, and like we turned it around we like reclaim it. So we played Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Nice.
Just kind of, you know, to throw that in there because a lot of people say that we have a No Doubt feel.
Okay.
So we played that.
I could hear that.
Yeah, and then Liz Lambert, she kind of connected us with David Garza, who knew Michael Ramos.
Yes.
And that's how our origin story kind of popped up with signing with Lucky Hound Music and working at studios at Fisher, where Michael Ramos works.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to tell you something. That's another organization that they just do such a great job. They're so professional. I love their setup down there. It's state of the art. But I want to talk about the way that Michael. You're not the first person that I've heard, and I've seen it firsthand when I was in a band with him too. How he I think he unconsciously just mentors people because he's just such a natural leader.
Yeah.
It's just who he is. And that to me reminds me so much of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar because, you know, so many people behind the scenes here have been working here like Ann Johnson all her adult life, basically, really all of her life because she started when she was 5.
Wow.
But if you walk around, you will see people who are teens who are working here. They're 15 years old and up, and they're working here, and they love it. And they're getting that mentorship in the same way that Michael has been mentoring y'all in the studio, in that same way. And I just think it's so important.
Yeah, it is very important to, like, even behind the scenes in production settings, getting younger people involved so that, like, we kind of change the demographic. And we've had our fair share of horror stories with sound people that were just very stuck in their ways. And, you know, we started performing whenever, I guess, under 18 bands weren't necessarily poppin' at
Sure.
the time. Now, like, there's a lot of support, and we're so happy about that. But, like, yeah, you said behind the scenes, like, being able to know what a run of show is, or, like, how to greet the artist, how to do logistics. I think that's also very important because, like, I don't know, we need fresh minds, fresh eyes. And like you said, like, even with me and Michael, we both live in the same world, but we've seen so much. Obviously, he's lived experiences that I can only dream of.
You'll get there.
But yeah, with my way of songwriting and his way of songwriting, we learn so much from each other. And with the Armadillo Bazaar, like, it's been around for such a long time. So you're able to see, like, the trajectory of how it started and how it's going now, and bringing on a lot of younger, fresh minds to be a part of it too.
Well, and we're so grateful that they brought y'all on for your debut this year in the 49th year of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. The Tiarras will be performing today at 1 p.m. right here on this stage. I am so excited to hear that set and maybe hear a preview of some of this new music. And so excited to hear you're in the studio with Michael and working with Lucky Hound. But so grateful that y'all took the time to come early and get in full face.
Of course, we love Sun Radio.
Oh, thank you.
Even that, like, finding radio shows in Austin that play music that's not just pop or just R&B, like, it's very inclusive of the emerging artists and the artists that have been very iconic here, that are holding the light of the live Austin music scene, and they're able to kind of trickle it down to new artists, and, like, we're able to just say thank you and still celebrate them with Sun Radio,
Well, that's so nice to hear. As you know, I'm a musician, but first and foremost, that's technically my day job now, which is so weird to say because this is my part-time job. But I couldn't agree with you more. Like, most people probably don't realize that Sun Radio is playing about 2, sometimes 3 bands an hour that are at least from Austin, if not from Texas. And we are playing songs that I don't hear other people playing, and it really does mean a lot. I know how hard it is to work and not, be acknowledged in that way. And every time that I play a song by somebody that I know and they hear it and I get a message from them like, thank you, it just makes me feel so proud because I know how much that means to them.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling when you release music and you hear it on the radio, or, like, you didn't hear it personally, but you have friends reaching out and they're like, I heard you on the radio. And you're just like radio will never die.
Well, tell Raul Hernandez that.
And it's so cool that, like, obviously, like, on Spotify for artists, like, you can see how many people are listening to you.
Sure.
But radio is just like this beautiful ghost that is always playing.
I'm glad you brought up that about Spotify, because I wanted to tell you and everybody out there, if you're a musician, this is something really cool that Apple Music is doing now. When your song is played on the radio, it's now picked up and reported to Apple Music. And so if you're on the back end of your Apple Music artist page, you can get that information. It's so cool. Yeah, and how many times people Shazam it.
Oh, we've gotten that, like, a daily report.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. We were on this thing where, like, we sent out our music to play at stores and, like, random things, and we would get, like, a daily report that it was played at, like, a Kohl's, like, in some random place. And I was like, whoa, like, that's amazing.
It always blows my mind. It always blows my mind. Well, I can't wait for the Tiarras to blow our minds at 1 o'clock. Tori will be back, of course, but she'll be joined by her sisters, Sophia and Tiffany. I cannot wait. It's going to be a great time.
This is awesome.
Thanks again to everybody for another great Sun Radio session. My name is Nakia with Sun Radio. Please join us up here at 1 o'clock for the Tiarras.